Hey everybody, I figured we'd do something a little bit different today than what I've done. We're going to shoot some birds with a camera, and I'm going to show you the equipment that I'm using and how I'm capturing those images. And then we're going to take it to the computer where we're going to go through our workflow just as I would normally do my routine, maybe a little bit more simplified version for the sake of time, but you'll get to see exactly how I get to the images that I put out to the public. This is the lens, one of the lenses I'll be using today. This is my 150 to 600 millimeter. It's going to be attached to a Nikon D500 body. And then I'm going to be using the Zoom audio video recorder to show you where I'm focusing as I'm taking the shot. How about that morning dove right there? See those black spots on the back of the wing? So you get a telltale sign of that. Chipping sparrows should be moving out here pretty soon. There we go. Give me a little bit more body, baby. All right, so we made it back in from shooting the photos. And what we're going to do now is I want to take you through my workflow. So I've already loaded everything up in Lightroom. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through a few of the shots, but we're going to start going through these one by one. And right here we have a American goldfinch. Now, I load everything up in Adobe Lightroom, as I said. A lot of times people will just go to this auto up here in the right-hand corner, and it can do this automatically, and you can make your adjustments from there. It kind of gives you an idea of where it can be. I'm going to back off on some of this shadowing and some of the highlights maybe. I would like to add some contrast. These are photos that I'm using for the purpose of this video. Otherwise I probably would not want to put something out there with a bunch of hooks and hangers and whatnot. Let's see. Also, I would always prefer to crop in my camera and not in Photoshop. Let's try that for right now. It looks a little bit too far left. Let's work on that a little bit. Okay. There we go. I'm not really excited about this right here and this right here. So what happens if I want to remove this? Let's just do that. Let's see what this will do. Can that work, you think? How about that? Huh, that looks pretty good to me. What about you? The other thing is right down here. I have a little bit area, so I'm gonna do this. And where is it wanting me to go? Up here? Don't think that works for me either. But that does. Oh, it's that looks good. I think that would work, right? Okay, so let's go back here. Now that we've got some of those eyesores out of the way, I want to see if I can do something to lighten up just the bird itself. Let's go to my masking tool. I'm going to select subject. Let's see okay, so that will do the bar and the bird. Now, if I want to take the bar out of the equation, I can do that, but let's see what it does with this as it is. Let's see if I can lighten up some of these areas right in here. Let me go, because if you see what happens if I go too high, it's going to blow out the bird. It's going to look bad. Now I could brush it. I could use a brush rather than doing the whole image itself. Let's see what happens here if I lighten this up, and then let's take some of the highlights out of it, because we still have some detail here and little hot up here though, don't you think? What happens if I do that? Oh, see, there we go. You see that? I'm able to reduce some of that exposure that's a little bit too much. How about that? I like that. And we still have some detail right here. Let's go back here now and let's see if we add some shadow to the whole thing. Where we cover some of those shadows. I mean, it's still doable. But eventually, like I said, we were able to remove some of these artifacts that we didn't want in this photo. Something else that you can do, if there's visible spots in here that you don't want, where I don't see anything going on through here, I think that works. All right, moving on. Red-bellied woodpecker. This could be another. So you see when I do the automatic, how it brings out some of this right here, which is not too terrible. I do want to see, yeah, that's what I thought. By using this shadow, I'm able to get some underneath the chin here, right? A lot of space up above the head. But you know what? Right about right there. Fills the frame. And once again, if I wanted to remove this right here, let's see if I could do that. Not too bad, right? That could work. You do the same thing with these little feathers. But I don't want to, I don't, for me, I'm not, I don't, I don't like manipulating the photos and I don't like over processing photos. So I'm happy with the way this red-bellied turned out. These are cute little birds and they're fun to watch. I might add a little bit of contrast, so, oh yeah. Yeah. A little bit of contrast never hurts, right? So, all right, happy with that one. Now this one of the bluebird, if you notice his eye, it is pretty well in focus. You can see the sun. Let's take a look to see what it would do once I lighten it up. Okay. Still got a lot of dark in the blue going right here. And this is probably not always a photo that I would want to use. But I'm more likely to use a photo like this just because I do have his face lit. And this is a male, by the way, that's why I'm saying his. The males are the bright, beautiful blue with this nice orange belly and breast. But let's say if I want to try to lighten them up a little bit, bring some shadow out. Even the shadow only does so much without it looking over processed. And I do not want to have an over processed photo. I am really, really strict on myself with that. Adding contrast Um, but yeah. Okay. Now, once again, if I go to this auto, it does some things, but let's just say I don't. What if I want to work on a little bit myself? A little bit of contrast. Composition is terrible. This bird was about 40, no, about 30 yards away, 30, 40 yards away. This is using a 600 millimeter zoom lens. Once again, I'm not a fan of cropping, but I think we need to in this one. So, kind of like this. I don't like that right there. So how are we going to do it? What are we going to do? We're going to fix that. We're going to do this right here. Let's see if we can. Look at that. You think that fixes it up? All right, so the next step. I'd like to get some shadowing on this. I'll bring out some of that orange, a little bit more contrast. Now, one thing about this highlight, if you look here, right, what I don't want to happen is to have it blown out where you cannot see feather detail. So I'm going to try to bring it to where you see what's going on here. Now you're seeing the detail. I don't want to overexpose an image. I definitely don't want to underexpose it either, but I would like to be able to see some detail. And I'm good with that. So this photo, there's a lot wrong with it. Well, first of all, the first thing that's wrong with it, it's a downy woodpecker at a millet feeder station, which typically finches really enjoy, and white-winged Inca doves. The issue that I have with this photo is that while the feeder is well lit, the downy woodpecker is not. So what I need to do is I need to either lighten this thing up, which is going to look to me a little bit too processed, or I need to wait for it to be in the light. Well, now he's got his head up in there and you can't see his face, but that might work, huh? Let's see. So let's see, what does this do? Okay, that adds some texture to it. That's nice. First thing is this, with it being crooked, it's going to really, really annoy me. So let's kind of, what do you think? There? Is that good? Okay. Now, I want to look at a couple of things. Remember we talked about little artifacts? So this is a seed at the very, very bottom of the frame. What if I don't want that seed there? What does this do? Huh, look at that. Did you see that? How about that? I love the way that works. Once again, I hate to have an image to have anything in it because I hate to manipulate an image so bad that it's not what I took out of the camera. All right, so now let's see what can we do with this bird. So if I do this, it's really gonna have an effect on everything. So I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. What I want to do is this. I want to take this brush tool and I just want to right in here, right? I want to brush this. The stuff that's going to be in the shadows. Let's see what this does. Oh, nice. I take some of the shadowing, and I don't want to overdo it. I like that. It's a lot more visually pleasing than what it was before. Also, what I want to do is radial gradient right here. Oops. Right at the eye. And what I want to do, let's see if we can bring that eye out a little bit. That's too much. You know what? I don't need to, do I? All right. Well, it did a little bit. All right. For the last two, I want to show you these right here. This is an eastern bluebird. This is a female. That's the male. The reason I want to talk about these two images, it's not to make these a beautiful photo, but if you look at all of this, you see a lot of noise. You could clean it up a little bit, you know, in Lightroom, right? But whenever you do a lot of manipulation like this, you're going to lose the sharpening and the detail. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what I like to do with these images that have noise like this. Once again, nice detail everywhere, right? Feather detail. The eye ring is nice and vivid. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and export these. I'm just going to export all of them. All right, so we're exporting those, and then we're going to open up, and I'm going to show you something really cool, really exciting for me. I use this on any event that we have. Not everyone, because sometimes the lighting is great and I don't need it. But if you've ever shot volleyball or basketball, and if you've been in a poorly lit arena, which luckily where I shoot at Southeastern Oklahoma State University, they have really good lighting, and so it's really not a necessity. But if you're shooting in low light and you have noise, haha, check this out. Where are we at? Here we go. All right, so we're going to open up both of these with one of my favorite programs. It's called Topaz Denoise, and this will remove a lot of noise as well as sharpen the image at the same time in case it's not sharp enough. And if you've seen right here, see exactly what I'm talking about. So here's the bluebird, the male. Move the slider over and watch this noise. We're gonna before and after. Now, this is low light, if you see over here, and you can also make adjustments for this. But as I said, I really love the fact that you can remove this noise and have an image that doesn't look overly processed, if at all. Now, you can play with all these settings to where you can fine tune everything that you want to do with this program. And I absolutely love it. Here's the female bluebird. We're going to go back to our model preferences and look at this. So you see there's a lot of tools available at your disposal between Lightroom, Topaz products, Photoshop, whatever you want to use. For me, I wanted to make it very simple to talk about and show. A lot of people ask how I do my post, and you know, and very supportive, complimenting and whatnot. But I try to make it as simple, stupid as possible. And hopefully someone else, you know, who watches this will learn, and maybe they can find out other ways, faster ways, better ways, and they can share them as well. Thank you.